What up, it's your boy, Nick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And my heart hurts all over again, man. Let's talk about it. Fuck, that's not it. What up, it's your boy, Nick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is 911 Lone Star, Season 2, Episode 13. And my heart hurts all over again, man. Let's talk about it. I don't know how you guys feel, man, but my heart hurts. But then I just want to applaud 911 Lone Star as well, because hands down, that was nothing but just great television, man. You can't do much better than that. I felt everything from Judd and Grace to Owen to the guy worried about his son. And then Tommy, this entire episode. Oh my gosh. 911 came hard this week. And you guys know how I felt about that. But I'll say it yet again. 911 Lone Star hits different every week. This episode solely focused on Tommy. We see flashback of her and Charles throughout the entire episode, and it wasn't a lot, and they weren't drawn out. It was maybe 3 or 4 in total. I want to say it was 3. I think it was 3 in total. Maybe 3, maybe 4. We'll go with 4. I should have counted. Hold on, let me see. The very first one, the IVF, the pregnancy. I feel like I'm maybe forgetting. It was 3 or 4. I'm not totally sure. I can't remember. But it focused on their flashbacks, but it also focused on Tommy in the present. Now, we start this episode and we see that it picks up right after last week's episode's ending, where we see where Tommy found Charles laying on the floor, and we see that she's giving him CPR and everything and compressions, and it's not working. She ended up calling 911. You know, they're on the line with her, telling her, okay, ma'am, what's next? Da 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 da. And paramedics are 6 minutes out. Tell them no sirens and no lights, because I don't want to wake my kids up. And it's cool because well, not cool, but you know what I'm saying, because he's cold to the touch. The rigor has already set in, and there's no breath. In that moment, she knew that he was gone. And this entire episode, we see the flashbacks. We see the love that they have for each other. We feel all of these emotions. And the moment that she realizes that he's gone, we feel that too. But at the same time, Tommy's in shock. So she's just having to continuously go about her day, because all she can think about is being there for her girls, because she doesn't want them to know just yet. But at the same time, like I said, all the emotions that we were feeling, that Tommy was feeling, we felt that shock too. Like, I don't know how it felt for you, but for me, I felt like I was in shock too. It didn't feel real. And the entire time it didn't feel real. Her doing the compressions, the paramedics coming to get Charles, her faking her emotions going throughout the day, talking to her daughters, her asking Judd and Grace to watch her daughters. All of this felt like it's like you had an out-of-body experience, for me anyway. It's like you were on the outside looking in, and I feel like that's how Tommy felt, and I feel like that's how the writers conveyed her, because we felt all of the emotion that came from this episode, but I feel like we felt the shock that Tommy was feeling too, because it didn't feel real. And we get to the hospital, we see her talking to the coroner, having her check out Charles, and we feel the just like all of the pure anxiety and the other kind of shock from the coroner lady when she opens up the bag and sees that it's her husband. Well, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, we feel all of this. Everything that's going on, we're feeling this. And that's just great television. Oh my gosh, man. And it still didn't feel real at the hospital, seeing him on the bed, not on the bed, on the table, in the bag, like seeing all of this, it still didn't feel real. Like, it didn't feel real for Tommy, and it didn't feel real for us. And Judd and Grace can kind of sense that something's wrong since she asked them to pick up the kids, but they don't know exactly what. They start to put clues together, but they still don't have anything solid to stand on. And as the episode progresses, Tommy gets introduced to this guy, and this guy is going through his own thing right now. And I feel like his entire situation was there for us to see Tommy connect and realize some things. Like, it was a lot of steps and lines in place so that we could see everything that's going on with Tommy, because we know that she didn't feel it. It didn't register to her. And after her whole conversation with this dude, it gave her something else to focus on, because he wanted to see his son. He could never make it all the way up the stairs. So he finally made it upstairs, and we see that, he has a gun because he doesn't want to take his son off life support, but his ex-wife does. But that made Tommy take her focus off of everything that was going on with Charles, and it kind of made us take our focus off that as well. So now we're in the same boat as Tommy, and like, we're just going through the motions. Now, while dealing in that situation, things escalate. He pulls out the gun, and his ex-wife is mad, and he doesn't want his son to die. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And in the end, it's just him and Tommy in the room. Like, everybody else has left the entire ICU, and we see Owen at this point. He's getting a checkup and everything, and he's flirting with his doctor. So, like, there seems like they're hinting at something there. Maybe him dating Barbara, or having a nice conversation with Barbara. But like I said, the episode was entirely focused on Tommy. Like, even those moments with Owen, like, they were very brief. Now, we see that she's in the hospital room with this dude, and as they're going on, they're discussing everything, and Tommy tries to get him to turn himself in. He doesn't want to do it, like, and it's not registering to her. And halfway through the situation, he kind of conveys, like, what would you do if your loved one was like this? What would you do to have a few more moments, a few more seconds? And that kind of flips the switch for Tommy, because she's thinking about Charles at that moment. And next thing you know, she's in the standoff with the dude. We're not coming out. We're staying in here. And that made everything change, because now Owen, after his conversation with her, now we see that Owen is like, well, Tommy, what's going on? And he can't figure out what's going on. He talks to Grace and Judd to see if they know anything, and they tell him that, well, we're watching the kids. I don't know what's going on. So after all the clues of that and everything else, they kind of put it together, and Grace ends up calling the call center to find out if there was a call to Tommy's residence. She listens to the call, and it's like, in that moment, it sunk in for us. The moment that Grace and Judd found out, like, it sunk in for us as well. It's like, we knew that he was already dead, but like, it didn't register. And that moment, it made it real. So Grace and Judd know. Owen knows. Now Owen goes to talk to Tommy, and it's like, in that situation, it still didn't register to her. It's like, well, she knows that it happened, but it's like she refuses to admit it. Like, she knows that he's dead, and she accepted it a little bit, but she just refuses to admit it. And as the episode progresses, we see that this dude has this whole thing going on, and Owen is there to save Tommy. He'd like to save the other dude too, but like, that's not his main focus. He's there for Tommy. And we see that, like, they're going through it, and next thing you know, the dude's son wakes up out of a coma. He's grabbing his hand, and that gives Tommy some help, some hope in her mind. He's like, okay, well, I couldn't have that miracle, but he was able to get that miracle. So in the end of the story, we see that his mom comes back in, and she's super happy. Although she wanted to pull her son off life support, I'm very hopeful that she's glad that she didn't do it. But in that moment, we see Tommy looking at this family, being all happy and everything, and next thing you know, she starts to break down. Tears start to fall. She loses her composure, because in that moment, she had nothing to latch her mind onto. And I feel like we felt it with Judd and Grace, but it just felt 10 times worse once we saw it. Once we saw Tommy finally accept it. And it was just so heartbreaking, man. It was, oh my gosh. After seeing their little mini flashback and their backstory and everything, and it just was so heartbreaking. And she cried, and she felt in that moment, and Owen was there for her. But at the end of the episode, when she goes to pick up her daughters, she's not in that moment anymore. She has to put on a strong mom face, because she knows this is going to break her daughters when she decides to tell them. But she can't tell them right now. And Judd and Grace was that, they're trying to tell her that they're there for them. And the moment Tommy leaves with the kids, Grace breaks down, and Judd is, he's holding her, but he feels some type of way as well. And that makes me think that's like, dude, that's just great television. We felt every emotion that they intended to put out. We felt that, and we grabbed every emotion that they were putting out. That's just great television. And my heart breaks so much for this episode, man, because it's so real. And I just don't know, man. And we see at the end of the episode, Owen goes to the firehouse and he sees everybody there. And I felt like he wanted to tell them, but it's not his story to tell. And TK asked him where was he all day, and he told him he'll tell him later. It's so heartbreaking, man. I don't know, man. 911 came hard this week, but 911 Lone Star came different, man. Completely. This your boy, Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button too. You can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out. I cannot complain because today, I'm doing my